Hey everybody, it's Bust kicking off Expedition Trial number 274. Out here looking for some new champions, and here we go. We found a couple, either the Ascension Azir or the Slayer's Kindred. Man, this is an absolutely fantastic Kindred. I do believe in my heart of hearts the Kindred is now the best champion in Expedition. It's very easy to put together a incredibly good Kindred deck. But I have been having some ideas with Azir. I have this kind of idea of a few decks that we can put together with him, and so that's who I want to take here. We took him through our first trial, weren't super successful, but had a good learning experience, and now that we've played some more Empires the Ascended, I have some good ideas for Azir. So let's get him pulled up on the site real quick. If you're not familiar with it, it's ftpbus.com. I got a previous trial here that didn't have new champions in it, so I had to let it expire. But over here, I did want to call out the tier list is up to date. The video should come out about an hour before this video. The text version is here. The image version is also on the same page. So however you prefer to go about finding the tier list should be here for you to peruse. But nonetheless, we'll be over here on the Expedition Helper today. We're just going to click on the drop down, go to Azir, and pick up the Ascension pool. And so, like quickly and obviously, and what I first thought we should be doing with Azir is putting together this, Sand Soldiers deck. It's something that he clearly likes to be doing. That's where we see the things like Dunekeeper, Sandcrafter, and Desert's Wrath. And I think this is probably still okay. I don't think we're going to have a problem getting a deck together like this. The big thing that I call out with this as far as building the Sand Soldiers is, there's like two key components that you actually need. You need to, number one, have a way to generate Sand Soldiers. That's kind of what I would call like the activator or the engine. So that's where we have, Azir, Dunekeeper, Sandcrafter, to a degree, Desert's Wrath. And then the second thing is we need the payoff. And so just having a whole bunch of ephemeral 1/1s isn't good enough. And so we need something to make these 1/1s bigger so that they're threatening to our opponent. In my opinion, Desert's Wrath is the big way to pull that off. Azir also does it a bit on his flip. And, we have some of these epic kind of cards like Voice of the Risen that gives all of your other units +2 attack. So this is, like an all-encompassing deck. We can do stuff with this. Excuse me, but the kind of the big idea with this Ascension card pool is that we're supposed to be leveling up all of our champions with like the Sun Relic or whatever it's called. So you have Azir, Nasus, and Renekton. They can all get up to champion level 3. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. But I don't think that's ever realistically got to be a deck. We can't really count on finding the golden buried token, whatever it's called. And so we're kind of left to our own devices as to how to pull off this, what I'm considering to be like a 4 independent champion deck. And I think the way we can do that is, partially with Rite of Calling. And so we're wanting to find just the cheaper side of champions. So like Azir and Renekton and, whatever like 2 and 3 and 4 cost champions we can find. And then using things like out of the Nasus card pool, I call it Nasus Strike. I'm sure it has a real name, Siphoning Strike. Yeah. And so kind of the idea here being is, we are not building around a specific champion, but we're building around, champions in general. And so we're looking to have ways to actually just physically draw our champions and then give them all +2/+2. Because, right, if we, Siphoning Strike something and are successful, giving all of our champions +2/+2, if we play Azir and then draw Azir, that bonus isn't spread out anymore. But if we Siphoning Strike something, get the bonus, play Azir, draw Azir, play Renekton, draw Renekton, then we're getting +4/+4 instead of just the +2/+2. And so I have that, in my mind as kind of another Azir thing that we could be pulling off. Otherwise, between those two decks, between the Sand Soldiers and the champion stack, if you will, is just trying to pair this up with Shadows and Dust. There's a bunch of ephemeral payoff cards in Shadows and Dust, and maybe we can find something there if Hecarim or Zed wish to make an appearance. But, we'll take this Azir, see who shows up, and see what kind of path we go on here. And so interesting little set. None of these pair off particularly well with the themes that we're looking to do. I think I'm going to come down here and take this Kalista because I do have this idea that this will kind of perhaps pay off. If we're fully in what are these? Shurima, we might be able to pull off that champion theme. We're going to have to go a touch out of our way here, but I think we can do that. As far as these other ones go, I don't really want to take Mega Kick Gangplank. There's no direct damage within Shurima, so we're not going to get any kind of bonuses out of powder kegs, we're not going to be able to damage our opponent on their turn. These Sandstalkers, they have to Nexus Strike. It's not like a Last Breath or something that deals damage, and so they're really going to struggle to get something in. I can't imagine, wanting to get a bunch of like powder monkeys or something to come in and attack this way. So I'm not interested in that. Then over here with this Jinx, I don't really see combos here either. The scrap heap is meant to be like discarding cards, and so we're generating cards, but we're generating them to the board. We aren't generating them to our hand. So I'm going to come down here and take this Kalista and see what we can do with it. I do still kind of have these ideas that, maybe we'll generate a Sand Soldier and sacrifice it to Mask Mother or something. It seems pretty thin, but there are at least some ways to take advantage of these kill effects if you can manage to get the Sand Soldiers on the board. It's kind of hard to do though, right? Azir only does it when you're attacking, Sandcrafter when you're attacking, and so you need a fast speed or burst speed way to take advantage of that. But this is where we're going. So let's pull up Kalista as well. I think, at least to this degree, we may find ourselves some of these ephemeral build-arounds. The idea we were talking about here was with Hecarim and Shadows and Dust, and so if you get Soul Shepherd to give your ephemerals +1/+1, or Stirred Spirits to give an ephemeral, or turn in a unit ephemeral, but if it's already ephemeral, we don't care if it's going to die. We have some bonuses we can pull off this way. Maybe we'll get some of these cards to show up, maybe not. Things like, Iron Harbinger can play to that Ephemerals theme as well. So, these cards do kind of live in Shadow Isles, and maybe they'll show up to a degree. But where are we at? Kalista, Afterlife, and cool. And so, yeah, this pool, this has a lot going on for it. This is a full Kalista build around. The idea here is you're either going to be building Mistwraiths, where you just take all the cards that say Mistwraith on them, or you're going to be doing this kind of kill your own units theme to where, we're getting some big value out of our Blighted Caretakers, and then using those to fuel a Kalista flip. In general, now, I think this is just, an absolutely fantastic kind of card pool. In the past, I've really trashed on cards like Cursed Keeper, but if you can take this Kalista and pair her up with like a Kindred, now that we have the addition of things like Mask Mother, to where we're really happy to be sacrificing units, and I keep calling it Warden's Prey. I know that's not the right one, but there's the 3/1 for 2 mana that generates the sacrifice card. Just having so many like targets that you can sacrifice the thing really pushes up the value of Cursed Keeper, because it really lets you stack more and more self-sacrifice themes in your deck. So that's an idea, but this is where we're going to go. We'll see how this plays out. So, we have a lot of options here that we're going to have to kind of decide on early. If we want to go for this Azir Champions build around with Siphoning Strikes and then the Allegiance unit, we can't take any more Shadow Isles cards. If we want to build to Sandcrafters, this is fine. We might get some support from Kalista. If we want to build towards Kalista and Mistwraiths, then we have to kind of immediately abandon the Shurima cards, and then if we end up pivoting over to building towards a Kalista style build around, then we at least may have some kind of bonus effects out of Shurima, and so I think this is okay. We at least have the most options out of Kalista here. I really just don't want to find myself chasing after a Mistwraiths deck. We've done that, and it's not really interesting at this stage of the game, and so. Here, kind of everything we're looking for. I think we can pretty easily run away from Kalista. Still keep her in our deck. She's a pretty powerful champion, especially it should, be pretty easy to see these allies die when we're attacking with Sand Soldiers. So I'm kind of on board with that theme. But I do kind of want to see if we can't get this multi-champion theme going as well. And so, in my experience, at least previously with Azir, these Golden Ambassadors, all of the other Allegiance cards are rare, so you don't see too many of them. With Nasus, you tend to see a shitload of them because they're common and they find their way into your deck. And so, having Voice of the Risen here with this Ambassador, I think we should be able to just push ourselves toward the Shurima Allegiance. Okay, then this pack thoroughly disagrees. I think we're stuck here with the Payday and the Chimera. I don't like either of these cards in this kind of deck, but it just kind of is what it is. We don't want Freylord. If we're in the self-sacrifice theme, we don't even really want these cards over here. I'm ready to kind of go all in on Shurima, and good. We're starting to get at least paid off with some of these these Sand Soldier cards. You know, the big Sand Soldier build around in the soldiers. The Dune Keeper is a generator. Good deal. Good deal. Okay, the good hits continue. These don't really build to our theme, but these are just high quality cards. Rockhopper is quickly becoming what I think to be one of the strongest units in the set, and then Rampaging Bakai counts as a removal spell. Very easy to slay 4 units in a game. This is a very top notch unit, so on board with all of this here. Okay, and then some of the payoff for, you know, if we want to pursue this 4 champions theme, hitting the Ascended Rise. And so, you know, we could play it, level up our Kalista and our Azir without really putting any work into it. I'm on board. This is kind of one of the build around cards that I think would work with this multi-champion theme. And so I hope we aren't getting like too far away from the Sand Soldiers theme. You know, we are passing on a Dune Keeper here, but I don't really want Devoted Council. I think that card's kind of trashy. Okay, well, these cards don't really play towards what we're trying to do, but you know, the Scout at least has Predict. It's a reasonable kind of stall the board unit, and then of course there's a lot of landmarks running around, so the Naturalist is a pretty medium card, even if we aren't pursuing pursuing the landmarks theme. Okay, again, this continues. I want to just keep on our Shurima game plan here. You know, we're passing on a removal spell in Black Spear, but also picking one up in Ruthless Predator, and then Inspired Marshal plays fantastically with this unit generation theme. And so I'm glad to at least have like some of this going on. I don't want to just be like 100% all in on this champion theme, and this will help us, you know, just kind of balance out along with the Sand Soldiers. But cool, you know, we've got a Rockhopper with a Rite of Calling that plays to all of our themes. On board with this. Okay, this one's kind of suspect. I mean, I'd love to pick up Rampaging Bakai, but I do kind of also feel like we're gonna be like hammering at our mana crystals. I would like to pick up another Rite of Calling. You know, it's tough for us to sacrifice off Sand Soldiers, which is what we would ideally be doing, but man, can we pass on the Bakai? He's so good. It's having 2 removal spells. His Bone Crusher is going to be so bad, though. This is our one shot at a combat trick. We can generate these landmarks. This is super easy to generate landmarks with the Rockhopper. So the Shape Stone is what typically, you know, it's got so much more upside to it than Radiant Strike. This one's pretty close. I think the thing that's getting me here is we don't have any removal spells. We have the 1 Weight of Judgment and then the 1 Bakai, and I think I want to just make sure we have more removal spells. Okay, and then as that happens, we get the Exhaust Weight of Judgment, so we're all set for removal spells now. Good job, team. Okay, and then with this one, I think we have to let this Bakai go. If I knew we were going to come up across the 3rd one, then I would rather have this one with the Ruthless Predator, but here, I think we're pretty good to take the Sandcrafter Dune Keeper. And you can see, we haven't been like super good about this. This was my big worry from the previous Azir trial as to where, you know, we have 8 4-drops in our deck. Like, yes, some of these are spells. We have like the Weight of Judgment and Desert's Wrath, but we really have a ton of 4-drops, and we're about to pick up another one here. Okay, all right. Well, Bloodthirsty Marauder Rockhopper looks pretty good to me. Easy little pick. And then, oh, I thought we were gonna get to trade away the Cursed Keeper for something not Shadow Isles. So these Destined Poros are pretty terrible, though. I don't quite want more Inspiring Marshals, but the Poros are just so bad. I'm glad to get rid of it. So I think that'll be a reasonable trade. Yeah, all right, it is time to go and turn someone premium. I know for a fact our boy Rockhopper is premium. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I've done the Marauder or the Dune Keeper. We can come back to those. Who else is there in the common slot? The Scout, you aren't exciting. Sandcrafter does generate Sand Soldiers, so let's just get one of these Sand Soldier generators. I can't remember what I've crafted and what I haven't, but let's take a peek real quick. This is the card I want. I don't think this lives in Expedition. Emperor's Dias. I don't know how to pronounce these words good, but this landmark seems absolutely wonderful. No, we've got Rockhopper. Oh, unowned. Show unowned. There we go. We've got the Rockhopper. We've got Sandcrafter. So let's get the... I thought we had Dune Keepers in our deck. Oh, I just don't own them. Okay, that's what the problem is. All right, my friend. Well, welcome to Premium Land. Let's get him premium and get going. Right. So yeah, kind of interesting. It's still, I ran into this problem before. I think we'll continue to do it, but I call it the Ron Swanson problem, where you don't want to half-ass anything. You want to whole-ass one thing, and I don't think we're quite whole-assing it here. And so we got a touch of this multi-champion strategy. We didn't find any NASA strikes, so it's kind of hard to pull it off in that sense, but I think we'll be okay. All right, this is a reasonable start, and I don't feel like we need to run out Dunekeeper on the first turn. Against this Noxus deck, we could perhaps find a decent block with this. If he plays a unit here and then next turn plays a unit and we, shut down his open with Dunekeeper, or shut down his 2 units with Dunekeeper, it's pretty good. It seems much better than getting in like one Sandstalker attack.
Be brave.
I was going to say, it does leave us to this spot as well, as to where, say, he attacks with this, we're going to play Rockhopper, and then let's say he plays a 1 health unit here, we can kill that 1 health unit with our Rockhopper, or with our Sandstalker. So this is tough. I think we're safe here, though. Let's add Kalista, because what we can do here, he's going to play a unit. If that unit gets vulnerable, then we just hook it with the Rockhopper, and then he can't block her with the Gift Giver. It seems like we're about to quickly get ahead. Got to continue to have a pretty good curve here, right? We can play. Oh, that's the Ambassador. I thought this was the 3/5 that makes the Sand Soldiers. It's like if we had the Sand Soldier Maker, and then 2 turns from now we have the Desert Wrath plus Dunekeeper. It's a pretty big attack.
What a shame for you!
Okay, well, I'm fine to give him all the gems. I'd rather just kill this thing now than him get all the bonuses. So I think we might as well hook. We could arguably try to, hook something into Kalista. It just seems pretty low value. Okay. So we can technically just flip Kalista here, right? We can Desert's Wrath. I don't think that's what we want to immediately do. I want to add the Bloodthirsty Marauder, just in case he has intentions of attacking here. This could backfire. I mean, he could have some kind of AoE, just not likely. Then I want to follow up with the Desert's Wrath. Absolutely. Whatever transfusion you have here, I'm glad to take it. Yep. Alright, so our question now becomes, do we just want to be more mana efficient and play the Dunekeeper? Or do we want to continue on with everything else? I do have to, because right, we just need to kill 1 ally to get a Kalista flip. I do want to call out those. We can ascend to Dries and level up our Azir. That seems kind of thin right here. It's okay. Yep.
Sapphire, gem of our divine patron.
To all betrayers!
Easy flip. Okay, what's Desert's Wrath? This almost gives us a full board and then lets us Weight of Judgment something should we want to. We can pick up an Azir if we want to. He's kind of close to flipping. But then if, you don't want to interact in any way, it's completely fine. Does this Allegiance happen if this gets hit with a, is this a summon ability? So if we bring this back with Kalista? Doesn't matter here, well, I shouldn't say that. We're gonna miss our allegiances. That's for effing sure, if you remember our last Azir trial, but interesting.
Bask in the
Did it. God, we're good. We did it this time. Okay, but I mean, now we have a full board to attack with. Seems pretty good. Thinking hard on this one. Nope, maybe. Big decision. Almost fell asleep there waiting on this one to happen. I'm sorry. I prefer speed Runeterra. Alright, there we go.
Azir's command.
Oh man, bringing out a Rockhopper? That's weird. We get this landmark. Okay, I guess some of our stuff will die before our unit comes back out. I should say before our units go back to the bench, right? We got 3 ephemerals here. Okay.
This is not the way.
But I'm rich.
Pretty close to lethal. Okay.
Oh,
Alright, see, this is kind of one of the things I'm talking about with Doomkeeper. You know, if he wants to, you know, say play a unit and show like he's going to make a big attack, then we have this pretty powerful defensive play, right? Against a Crimson deck, they good chance they just play like some 5-cost Crimson that, you know, if he plays a 5/5 for 4 that deals the damage to all his units, then you have a great, you know, shutdown on his attack for 1 mana. Yeah, I think this seems reasonable. Now we're just going to follow up after his attack with Azir. This is kind of neat as well. When you summon the allies, you know, they both swap, and then that bonus also is going to come from this Kalista flip. It's got combos everywhere, man. All the combos. Oh shit, these attacks are all bad now. Oh shit. Did the mathematics and these are not good.
You'll live, probably.
Okay. Wonder if he ever passes back to us without attacking.
power linger in the air.
Okay, it's probably safe. There's a chance he might. I think it's probably safe to add Azir. He only has 1 mana, and there's not anything threatening he can do out of these factions. If he was playing Shurima, we'd have to worry about it. Or if he's playing Bilgewater, we'd have to worry about it. You know, being able to give something vulnerable, but not something to worry about against Targon Noxus. Okay. Alright, so let's see who the newest friend to add to our deck is. I don't really want to add Azir or Kalista. I'm afraid the game's gonna, you know, try to force us into taking one or the other, and we're gonna be, you know, kind of limited in picking up a 3rd and a 4th champion. But you know, I've got ideas. Here's a Renekton. This is a tasty Renekton as well. It's got our 4th Rockhopper and a Sand Spinner. Doesn't help out our 4-drops problem, but he's gonna play pretty well here. Very easy for us to, you know, take advantage of his challenger boost, since, you know, we're not playing against. I mean, since we have all of these vulnerable giving cards. We have the Exhaust. We're going to have 4 Rock Hoppers, this Bakai. So I think you'll be good here. Welcome home, Renekton. This is in our 100 4-drops deck. Gotta get all the 4-drops. But yeah, that's my big worry. I mean, we might have to pick up a second Azir. But, you know, I would love to have just another cheap champion. Another Sivir, Elise, anything, just something cheap. Elise would be actually great here with all these summoned unit plays. Right? Diana, Braum, Ashe. Probably not a Noxus faction here, so it's not a Blood on the Ice Ashe. Okay. Oh, the Rock Hoppers. Get to hopping, boys. Keep seeing our board. I mean, I love this Christmas board, but I think I gotta go and try to switch it out after this game. There has to be a new one, right? At least a new board out of, I don't know, there may be a new board on the event pass, but I haven't gotten far enough along yet. Just don't know. Great pickup. Next turn we can, you know, play a Rock Hopper, play a Dune Keeper, and then if he doesn't have any good vulnerables for a Sand Soldier, just Rite of Calling away the Sand Soldier seems great. Loving all the combos we have here.
Would you look at this place?
He's gonna get us. Seems like he's gonna try to get us. Okay.
See what we see, soldier.
Gotta have something now, right? Nothing? Just absolutely nothing?
It's made of sand. I can ride it.
Alright, well, I mean, I'm good with this plan of just attacking with the 2 3s. Good to Rite of Calling away our Sand Soldier. I think this all seems pretty fine.
Gonna catch the sky.
This big play here is to, like, Troll Chant or Elixir of Wrath. You know, beautiful. I'm all on board with this. I'm a little less on board with that, not gonna lie. That's pretty soul-crushing. We had such big plans coming together, then Dick over here had to go and make everything not fun. What an asshole. We're still fine though. Everything's good.
We live in hallowed times.
What this guy's next asshole move is. Dude out here plotting something with his AoEs. People don't appreciate that, man. That's not cool.
I won't fail.
But if he just wants to trade, I'm okay. If he's got some trick, I'm also okay. I'll trade anything he has for this ambassador.
Embrace the night.
Okay. I don't know. This seems kind of sketchy. Kill an ally to draw a champion. That one, please. Right, I mean, if he's just gonna have the free hook anyways, we might as well take 2 additional damage. Get rid of this guy. Put up Azir.
No more lies.
Okay. And then this, we technically don't have to just like run out of our way to play this Renekton. Kind of want to, but I mean, this is a very good Rockhopper into Desert's Wrath. Kind of dig it.
Would you look at this place?
I don't think it's too greedy. Got a pretty meaty hand here. So, I mean, if we can keep him from playing units and just playing combat tricks, like his board's not scary. If he wants to hit us for 5 damage next turn, I don't really care. If he hits us with a second Lysandra Blast and we don't get any bonuses out of this turn, though, well, then we're actually, you know, speaking a pretty different tune. But as it stands, I think this is okay. This dude doesn't like to have fun. He might be out there just texting all his buddies, telling him what a Lysandra Blast he's about to drop on Bust. It's all right, man. There we go. Okay. There's an argument for keeping this Rockhopper behind, but just to have it kind of like block next turn, we should probably be okay if we're as long as we're safe here. Interesting, he didn't kill our unit as opposed to. Huh. Okay. I'm on board.
Take the chill off.
What a shame for you!
We needed more fights.
How about another round?
Out of my way!
Okay. Yep. Not ideal. Not ideal. I mean, this is the problem I'm talking about. Wow, this, you know, humongous pile of 4-drops is bad. Anything in the world, like Azir plus any unit in the world we could play here would be good. You know, Azir plus Rockhopper, but you know, over the course of the next few turns, we're just going to be stuck. So I mean, Renekton's expensive enough. We can add him. We have at least 7 mana we could spend next turn, so we can get a little bit going, but. Okay.
Each a grain of sand in a mighty desert.
A true Freljordian
Sure. Okay. So we can't get like a whole lot of attacks in because of this Alpha Wild Claw, unless we're just willing to trade. Oh, we can't trade our Renekton. I had it in my head, it's like Renekton attack is still good because he can hook in the Tavern Keeper, because he's going to get the +2 attack. But we can't actually take advantage of this thing.
Cut them down. No retreat.
Right?
The order is given. It is time.
Don't let my size fool you.
Seems probably okay. We can at least, trade Renekton with his Wild Claw, and we're in a reasonable spot. I mean, if this just happens, seems like he has another trick, but at this point, at least we can put Renekton in front of Wild Claw, 3/5 in front of this would be a 6/3, and then still have Azir and some meat. But yeah. It's down to one card, so we're just never getting these slays, unfortunately. But otherwise, it doesn't feel like we're super far behind. Although he does have an open lethal on us.
Ready. Maybe.
They should be afraid.
Oh, no, he's a little short, right? He's got... We can take a Diana hit, Icebell Archer hit, and block everything else. Seems like quite the risky block. Love to take this unit down next turn with a 3/5. Okay.
Stand down.
Okay, so as it stands, we have to put 6 health in front of Wild Claw. Gotta put Renekton in front of 6/6. We gotta put 3/3 in front of something else. Oh, we're still dead this way, right? Yep. Maybe he'll do something
The
dumb.
Star Maidens will know my name.
I love it when they do something dumb. Yeah, that's gonna do it. I think. Yeah, we're taking 6 here, here, here. Lethal. Good game. A little bit too awkward. I hate having this happen. It's kind of whatever that our Bakais weren't turned on, but being in that spot to where you can only play one card a turn is pretty painful. Okay, what can we pick up here? Mask by Other Tradeaway is fine. Cursed Keeper for Crumble, also fine. Payday for Desert Wrath is pretty decent. Desert Wrath, just, the all-around build around what we're trying to do here. I think that's the way we need to go. I'd love to get these out of our deck, this Mask Mother Cursed Keeper, but I think Desert Wraths are too important in this Sand Soldiers theme. So, welcome to the club, especially when we have this ideal that we're only going to draft one Azir. If we're going to draw a random champion and we only have a 25%er to hit him, he's the flipped version is the way that we level up our Sand Soldiers. Okay. Right. LeBlanc, Azir, Sivir. Sure. Ew. Ugh. This curve. I don't know how to manage the curve with these pools. It's one of those things I preach so frequently. And it just never seems to come together. So many 4-drops.
Your emperor has returned.
Does he ever attack into Kalista with this thing? Found out. Get some stuff going here. Again, this is a horrible hand, right? Like the only saving grace this kind of thing is like we can play Azir plus Weight of Judgment next turn, but so painful having our hand look like this. Oh boy, an Ascended Rise. We just have to play to this, right? The flipped Azir and a Kalista is just the awkward thing is we can do it, but then we don't have any Kalista units to bring back. Man, that's close.
Our vengeance has burned long enough. Act now.
I think I'm on board with this. Let's just add Azir.
Lives forever.
Maybe Weight of Judgment something. I don't think we're going to Weight of Judgment, but going into next turn we can look to play Ascended Rise. That's very risky. So much vulnerable in this format. Now, like this is kind of the reason I wanted some of these. Like I was kind of considering playing an Azir last turn, under the idea that we could that we could get 1 damage on his Azir and then hook it down. This is going to be a huge desert wrath, right? We're going to level up our Kalista. We shut down his attack, give all of our Sand Soldiers +1. Very, very strong. It's not ideal. It's actually kind of fucked up, man. Okay. Alright. This is at 4. Still don't have a way to just come in on this, and then again, like this. Oh, we can only play 1 card. Painful. Yeah, let's try to draw our Renekton while we still can.
Let me hear you call our Emperor's name!
Shurimas, I have waited millennia to hear your cheers.
It is me!
Okay, this is gonna be painful. Do not have a good answer to Kato. We can't just risk him being cute and not blocking.
I give you Mux Edition.
Okay. Alright, can we at least like Renekton plus something here? No. So awkward. Alright, well we can at least like kill something. We can Bakai down his Azir, Bakai down his Kato. We probably just want to hit Kato.
This curse and life is now my penance.
Next turn we can Renekton plus Sand Spinner or get something going. Your Sand Soldiers, like the Sand Soldier combos aren't enough to actually take him down. Brutal. Brutal, brutal.
It is time.
Okay, so I mean, still in the same horrible spot. I think we have to, like, Sand Spinner down as Kato. We don't have a choice anymore. And then I guess we have to get Sandcrafter on board. I mean, we could have sequenced this game differently, but again, this is ultimately the huge issue we ran into in the last one and what we're running into here. Sure.
Look what good comes of mortal greed.
Right, so I kind of wish we had Renekton now if we aren't if we aren't getting Sand Soldier level ups. I wasn't interested in the damage. I was kind of interested in getting, like, you know, we're ideally we'll be in kind of the same spot here. Rockhopper, so problematic. All right. Just have to be out here blocking.
Too slow, stupid!
More cards. Okay, sometimes you have them all. Alright, so this Ascended Rise is quickly gonna just be a dead card. This is painful.
I go where the trouble is. It's never too far.
Alright, how do we get out of this one? I think we at least have this Doomkeeper. This is pretty pretty good for blocking all these huge quick attackers that are about to ruin our day. Man, we've lost everything.
Wealth is merely a foolish distraction, my dear. Then call
Okay,
me
so let's
a
just
rich,
play our worst
distracted
units.
fool.
Would you
I mean, I don't know how we're supposed to stop all this quick attack coming in, but the answer to it isn't playing our big units and just having them die. I mean, I guess we could have tried to put Renekton in front of LeBlanc, but that's ultimately very, very scary.
The order is given. Shurima is sand and sky, past and present.
I will run you over.
Foolish.
All right. I don't know what we have here. We just have units at this point. None of this is going to be enough. But let's at least see what we draw.
Stand down.
Let's see. Again, I know we played like 2 units this turn already, but it's so painful not being able to, just spew off a bunch of cards.
Shines on us all.
But this is at least our guy here to give all of our boys the old boost.
A weapon heavy with history.
If you've leveled, I thought we leveled a Kalista this game. Okay.
Heads up.
All right, so that's gonna do it. So, I mean, it's a bit of an awkward and frustrating trial. I feel like these are some like real ideas, and I haven't pieced together like that full way to draft Azir right. We ran into this in our first one. We ran into this again here. If you see this big glut of 4-drops in our deck, this is way, way, way too much. A full third of our deck costs 4 mana, and our curve is just abysmal. And you could see in those games, it was much more pronounced in like our previous Azir trial than this one, but you have all these turns where it's like, okay, it's turn 5, I can play 1 card. It's turn 6, I can play 1 card. It's turn 7, I can play 1 card. Turn 8, I really need to be spewing off 3 cards, but I can only play 2. It is just so painful when your curve gets all spread out like that. But I mean, I don't really know what the answer to it is. I mean, as far as these cards go, like we don't want Bone Crusher, we don't want Naturalist. Ambassador plays to the theme of what we're doing. The Sandcrafter, Voice of the Raz, like all of these other cards, I don't want to say that they're essential, but they're pretty required for this kind of theme. And so, I mean, if we're looking at it in this sense, if we are building towards Sand Soldiers, we have to play Desert's Wrath that costs 4. We have to play Sandcrafter that costs 4. We really want Voice of the Risen, costs 4 but not required. And then Weight of Judgment is our only removal spell. The Shurima removal spells being Weight of Judgment and Nasus Strike. And so I think, the way that we have to kind of look at these Azir decks in the future, number one, I do still think that we kind of, we didn't like go all in on, like the half-ass or whole-ass theme here. We aren't fully into this, I'm going to call it Super Friends, as to what we wanted to be drafting here. Super Friends is what you would call a deck in Magic, to where you're just playing a bunch of Planeswalkers. That was kind of the idea here. We wanted to have, the Azirs. We wanted to have the who are you called? The Golden Ambassadors to give the things +2/+2. We want to play NASA Strikes to give all our champions +2/+2, and then have the Rite of Callings so that if we aren't drawing our champions with, our random 4-cost unit, then we have another way to draw them. That's the kind of the idea here. We're going to keep our champions. We're going to play 4 different champions. We're going to have these ways to boost them. And so we got that to a degree. I just don't know where, we've gone like too far. Like, I guess, we could take out Inspiring Marshals, we could take out Voice of the Risen, take out Sandcrafters, take out Desert's Wraths, and then, if we're going to be in like this Allegiance deck, though, I don't see how you avoid this 4-drops problem. And so, I don't know. You guys are going to have to help me on this one. If either, you know, Sand Soldiers just aren't good. If, you know, Super Friends just isn't good. If we just high rolled here, if we low rolled here, what was going on? But we're having serious problems with these Azir decks. But, you know, as far as the things I liked here, and what I think we need more of are, you know, Dunekeepers, Exhaust, and Rockhopper. Just something to come down in the early game, challenge with what our opponent's doing, and give us the time to play these understated Golden Ambassadors to, in return, let us play our overstated champions. You know, I think that's, you know, kind of the real good thing to have going here. I still am pretty happy with the, you know, the Bakai Span Spinner and the Bakai Rampaging Bakai, even though they didn't perform well here. I think that's pretty good stuff. And then I think, you know, Ascended's Rise, we should not have been playing. And so, you know, the next time I'm ready to try Azir again. I want to get in another trial. I think the things that I'm willing to say with Azir is the cards that we most specifically don't want. I think we do not want Weight of Judgment. I think we really have to drop the value we place on Weight of Judgment. It's so easy with Shurima to have exhausts and all these other vulnerable cards. We'll just end up with a random Ruthless Predator. We're going to have a ton of Rockhoppers because he's our boy. We just don't need Weight of Judgment. You know, thing number two is we would be okay with Nasa's Strike. That if we're playing to that theme. So I think if we're going to try to play Super Friends, we can include NASA Strike, even though we don't want to play Weight of Judgment. And then, you know, we used to talk about this quite a bit with Collective Support and Call of the Mountain, and trying to figure out how to get like the Swole Squirrel deck to work to where, you know, the Swole Squirrel himself costed 4. It used to be like the support Squirrel costed 4. They reduced him to a 3/2/3 cost later. But then also the elusive giver Fey Guide cost 4, and so you would end up with these decks with like 3 Fey Guides, 3 Soul Squirrels, 3 Support Squirrels, and then you would have a couple like Barrier Lifesteals or something, and then you're in the same spot where you have 10 or 12 4-drops, and you just can't do that. And so you have to kind of like go and pick and choose like very specifically which one of these you want to have, and I think that's our Azir problem. I think that's our big takeaway in the recap here, is if you are in, you know, Azir Super Friends, then you have to go out of your way to never pick up Desert's Wrath, never pick up Sandcrafters, never pick up Weight of Judgments. And then I think if you're in, you know, the Sand Soldiers deck, you have to go out of your way to never pick up, you know, these Golden Ambassadors, never pick up Weight of Judgment, and you really need to be not picking up the things like Desert Naturalist, Callous Bone Crusher, maybe even, you know, Bakai Sand Spinner, even though he's a removal spell. You know, we just have to kind of like better pick and choose what we're going to have in our 4s and be really strict on it, and be really strict on keeping our curve low, because the low curve cards just don't exist in Shurima. This may not be an issue, you know, 2 months from now, 4 months from now, 6 months from now, once all of the cards are out. But as it stands now, it's like our early game is Bloodthirsty Marauder, Dunekeeper, Rockhopper, and then the 2-cost Landmark. I might be missing something, but I'm pretty confident that that's it. And I think if we're going to have these successful Shurima builds that are, you know, almost a Shurima allegiance, then we have to really focus on making sure these cards are in our deck, just as a matter of putting together a good curve. And so I think, you know, even to that end, though, you know, it worries me to say things like we have to focus on our curve so hard, but I think the payoff is there, at least for the Super Friends aspect, right? This, you know, champion-centric, drawing a bunch of champions with a +2/+2 bonus. I think the payoff is there to annihilate your curve. But it is not worth it to have this curve that averages like 3.9 on the scale. And so I thought this was a pretty useful run. You know, I'm feeling pretty confident in how we can get a good Azir deck together. It just took us a couple of trials of mismanagement to get there. And so, you know, Chimera, go. Ascended Rides, go. Bakai, thumbs up. Marshall, you know, are you in Sand Soldiers? You know, that make the decision, you know, up or down. Sand Soldiers, yes, out, no. Weight of Judgment, out. You know, Sand Soldiers, yes or no. Like, I think we can kind of piece this together. I think you guys can do that as well. If it says Sand Soldier on it, put it in the Sand Soldier deck. If you're drafting Super Friends, don't take those cards. Should be easy peasy to figure out. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. It looks like we have a reward here to click on. So let's check out this epic wild card, and then we'll call it a day from this point forward. So, all right, yeah, that is going to do it. So I hope you all enjoyed the run. You learned how to, you know, craft your 4-drops a little bit better, and you maybe had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.